y'all, Little Drummer Boy here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving weekend. And go Cowboys, go Carolina. I don't care how bad they suck. Still love my teams. But anyway, today on Trucker Tales, this is a warning for you truckers out there. And hopefully I'll be back among you soon once I get some legal issues worked out. But anyway, I want to give you a warning about a trucker trap. And the trucker trap is the Love's truck stop, and it's not Love's fault. It's the state of Virginia and their highway patrol's fault. The Love's truck stop in Bowling Green, Virginia. Never had any trouble with the one over on 81, up there before you get into West Virginia. What's that place called? Thomas Creek. The Love's Thomas Creek, never had any trouble over there on 81. And I don't even know why I was going up 95, but I think I might have had a pickup or a delivery in Delaware is probably why I was going up that way. Because usually when I did New England turnarounds, I was always coming out of Hickory, North Carolina. I'm always 40, 77, 81 to 78 over to New York City to 95. But anyway, for some reason I was on 95 going into Washington and that whole mess. Let me tell you something. If Virginia boys, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, if they knew what the Old Dominion Highway Patrol State Police was doing to truckers and the way they're abusing their power and stealing money from people, they would hang these people. Because let me go ahead with my story, all right? So I need to get fuel. I'm in Bowling Green, Virginia, way up north, up in the D.C. metro mess. The whole reason Virginia's a blue state is because of that mess up there. It's hard to imagine. This is where George Washington's from, this area, Mount Vernon. He's from Fredericksburg, actually, that area. Fairfax County. And I got another frivolous ticket in Fairfax County before in the car, but I ain't even going to talk about that one. I'm trying to stick to the subject here. But the Battle of Bull's Run, Manassas Junction in the Civil War, where Lee could have took Washington, but he didn't, and it was his one shot. That's all in that area. But it's really hard. I haven't been to the battlefields up there, but it's really hard to imagine the Civil War battles up there because, it's a cluster, from all in Northern Virginia, and that's why they vote blue. It's all D.C. suburbs, and it screws up the voting for the whole state, just like New York City does for New York State, the cities do for California, the big cities, and Chicago does for Illinois. But anyway, I didn't mean to get on politics, except, it kind of goes together because it's a state, right? So I get off at Bowling Green, Virginia. I wish I could remember what exit it was, guys, and ladies. I'm not sure. But I get off at Bowling Green, Virginia one evening, off of I-95, and the Loves. Okay, I get to the Loves, and it's dark, okay? Right on the logical place where you would turn a truck into the Loves, which is a private establishment now, private business, private property. Right there where you turn into Loves, at a normal truck stop where you would turn into Loves, it's got no trucks painted on the ground, right? So I'm like, well, what the heck, man? Why can't you turn in here? Have you ever been to a truck stop where you couldn't turn into the front of it from the highway? I've never seen that in all my years of trucking. So I go on past it. I'm like, well, what the heck? I thought it was one of those situations like most truck stops have an exit and entrance for trucks, right? Well, so I passed this one up. Okay, I thought the entrance must be on down here. I went down to the next light, past the truck stop, couldn't get in. Nowhere for trucks to go in. So there was this driver from California. He did same thing, man. He did a flip in front of me. I did a flip to come back to try to get in I just need a fuel and a sub. I'm just trying to get a fuel and a sub. I'm hauling stuff for people, trying to make a living and get fuel and a sub 600 miles from home, or more like 400. Anyway, I come back down through there. It's a divided highway. There's a grass median and a ditch. You can't turn left into the Loves then. By this time, I'm starting to get a little ill. So, next thing you know, I'm back to the flipping interstate. So, what I do, I need fuel, I need something to eat. I do another flip. As soon as I got straightened out from my flip, I see Mr. Virginia friggin' Highway Patrol State Snooper back there behind me. And I'm like, oh my God, now he's going to get me for doing that flip, right? Well, sure enough, here comes the blue lights. And I thought he was going to get me for doing the U-turn, right? So when you have blue lights, you're supposed to pull off at the first safe place possible. So I pull right in the daggum drive that says no trucks. And I pull on around there like I'm going to the fuel islands, which is where I needed to be. And before I even get to the fuel islands, right there in front of the whole damn row of trucks, this state snooper pulls me over. And he was a young buck, a real Barney Fife, by the book. And he said, can I record you? And yada, 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 and all this mess. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I did have my British 303 World War I rifle with me, but I wasn't about to shoot him if he didn't try to shoot me, you know. But anyway, I'm like, I felt better him recording me. And I wish I had playback of that recording because he was by the book. I'm like, man, I cannot get into this truck stop. There's no way you can't come in the front of this truck stop. I'm like, I don't know how to get in here. I'm like, I went down there and turned around. I came back up here, turned around. And he said, well, I'm just going to give you a warning ticket for the U-turn, but I'm going to give you it was a $130 ticket he wrote me for turning in a friggin', I'm about to say words I shouldn't say and almost took the Lord's name in vain, but I caught myself. $130 ticket for turning in the daggum truck stop. Oh my gosh, I was polite then. But I should have told him all this then, but I didn't want any more trouble. Because if you buck up and cause them trouble, you know what? They will cause you more trouble. So I went ahead, bent over and took the ticket. And what else you going to do? We don't have any rights, any choice, you know. So I went ahead and got my fuel. And then I'm talking to the little Mexican driver from California, you know, that did the flip in front of me, and thankfully he was in front of me, so he wasn't the one that got caught, or thankfully for him. But oh my gosh, then I go ahead and I'm just stewed, and I go ahead and get my sub, you know, and the kid at the Subway, now this really got me. The kid at the Subway, he told me, he said he sits in here and does that all the time. He sits in there and does that all the time. And so you got drunk drivers and people driving 150 miles an hour down the interstate. And this daggum whippersnapper piece of shit trucker, I mean, piece of shit state snooper is, he is sitting in a truck stop, biting the hand that feeds him, making money for the state, by giving truckers tickets for turning in the truck stop. And the kid at the Subway also told me, he said, there's a sign there that tells you go to the next light and turn in and come in the back. But he said at nighttime, people don't see it. And they know most truckers aren't from there. And so, warning truckers, stay away from the truck stop, the Loves at Bowling Green, Virginia. If you have to go in there, go past the damn thing, turn right at the light, and then turn right and go in the ass end of it. Because let me tell you, you cannot turn into the front of that truck stop unless they've changed it in the last 2 years. Actually, the last year. This is probably 2018, late 2017, early 2018 when this happened to me. Oh my gosh, I'm getting pissed off just thinking about it. All right. And then, so when I rode in, and I've done this with the Georgia cop that gave me a frivolous parking ticket one time. When I rode in, and I hate to admit it, but I was not very Christian when I rode in, because they might have to make you pay, but they can't make you like it. And I was, oh my gosh, first of all, I reminded him, I'm like, everything you own comes on a truck. We risk our lives for you people every day. 2 truckers get killed in America every day. Everything you own comes on a truck. your patrol car, your ticket book, your sidearm, your uniform, your wife's, your kids' diapers, your kids' food, everything your wife uses. And I ain't even gonna say what I said all about that. But oh my gosh, I went off on him and reminded him he would be butt naked and starving to death without truckers. And then he has the audacity to give us tickets for turning the wrong way into a truck stop, for turning in the front of the friggin' truck stop. Oh my gosh, I was so pissed off. I told him, I said, I would love to see your name on a bridge. And I forgot what it was. I need to look back at the tickets so I could and add that to the comments in this video. But I told him, I said, I would love to see your name on the bridge or your name on the news. I said, they don't put truckers' names on the bridge when we get killed, but they put your names up, your assholes' names up there. And then last time I was in Virginia, I had delivered up in Richmond, and I think I picked up paper in Eastern Virginia over on the Chesapeake Bay. And I heard on the radio, on the FM or the AM, I was listening to Rush, and I'm like, I heard that the Virginia troopers are getting a raise because they made the state so much revenue. Isn't that just grand? Yeah, the Virginia troopers get, and I told him, man, I said, there is no wonder there is so much trash on the side of I-85 coming out of North Carolina and I-95. My dad always had a saying that if I'm going to have to pay, I'm going to get my money's worth. And I told him, I said, yeah, I'm going to get my money's worth, all right. If I'm going to have to pay a $130 ticket for something, Virginia's going to be my trash dump. Trucker Tales, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay away from the Loves at Bowling Green, Virginia if you can. If it goes out of business, I hate it for Loves, but it serves Bowling Green, Virginia, and Virginia right, because that trooper that's in there harassing truckers and stealing our money, he's the one that put it out of business. Peace, y'all. Have a blessed day. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.